The five titans of the great video game soundtrack are Nier Automata, Sonic, Clash of Crashers, Plant vs. Zombies, and Geometry Dash. But one game goes unseen for its great soundtrack, and that is...
A world, an ethereal dreamscape of adventure and possibilities. An abstract plane of beautiful wonderment just waiting to be explored. And you can go there now.
Littlebigplanet 1 is one of the first games I ever played. I remember when I was little, I used to get sturdy to the music in this game, especially the level in the backgrounds, the gardens. And at the end of the level, it's a skateboard. You go down a skateboard with my main man, Humpty Dumpty. There's a race gate there. In the video, I was trolling a little, and I didn't go in the skateboard, right? So I just like ran like a bot to the scoreboard. But we don't talk about that, right? And the great thing about Littlebigplanet and the music in it is that Littlebigplanet is based off of different countries in the world. We have one in the Savannahs, Russia, and in a lot of different places. The Gardens is based on medieval England. They also use a lot of instruments from medieval England, such as the mountain dill climber, bass, trumpet recorder, and flute. Also, something special in Littlebigplanet is that the interactable music. What this means is that you can turn on and off some instruments of the song, showcased right here. As you see, we have a different selection for different instruments that I want to hear in the song. Drums and such and such. A lot of people have used this in their levels to show almost build-up or progression while you play the level, by adding more instruments and sounds as you play along in their level. Through the gardens, you go to the savannah. That's based off of savannas in Africa. Compared to the other music in this game, I couldn't find a lot of information on what instruments were used in the song. All I know is that there's drums and a waza. With instruments such as the waza that isn't known outside of Africa, it shows the pure creativity of the composer Daniel Pepperton, that also composed the music for a little unknown movie, Into the Spider-Verse. Also, the other track in this world, Tepa Niang, that is sadly copyrighted, so I can't show the music. But I'm pretty sure that's Kanye on the cover of the song. And people wonder why Littlebigplanet's so goated. It literally has Kanye in the game. If that is not enough proof that the music in Littlebigplanet is goated, besides having the guy that made Taylor Swift famous in their game, Littlebigplanet took a big risk by adding a strip club into a kid's game. I was little, playing back this level now, completely different feeling from when I was little. When I was little, I did not know. I thought they were firemen and firewomen. You know what I mean? But now since I'm bigger, you know, this level got me feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? Enough of that. Now just enjoy this fantastic music. The next world after the savannah is the wedding, that is based off Day of the Living Dead, a Mexican tradition that is celebrated in Mexico. Even though the world is called the wedding, it really has a funeral vibe to it in the levels such as the darkness and the complete background and fogginess of some of the levels. You can even hear it in the track with ghostly melodies and a sick guitar riff at the climax of the song. The secondary track of this world is Varmela Comeza, or in English, Start Over. For a world that's widely forgotten about in the Littlebigplanet community, the music in this world bangs, like really some fire tracks in here. This world and the music is really, really underrated. And in my opinion, this and another world that's coming up is the best example of interactive music at its finest. There's different types of levels in this world, such as the darkness. I'll use a little bit of the track to elevate the feeling of what the level is going for. By only using the vocals and the ghostly sounds of the soundtrack elevates the feeling of loss and almost like the darkness. And now I'm gonna leave y'all alone and just let the music play. The next world is the canyons, that is based off of the desert parts in Mexico. And boy, do I have a lot to say about this world. But a bunch of classic music and levels come from this whole world. Before I go into the music part, let me tell you, man, I'm Afro-Latino. My Spanish part of me was going off when I was little playing this level. Like I was busting a move on the scene while playing this level with this damn music, man. And let me tell you, Kinky's Corn Man took the show in this whole world. That song is fire and deserves a listen now. It's such a joyful and upbringing song, a great opener for this world. Sadly, it's copyrighted, so I can't play any of it. But how good Corn Man is shouldn't undermine how great the interactive music for the canyons is. Instead of being your average Mexican desert theme with trumpets and basses and stuff, they decided to go for a more creative approach, still having your average desert theme instruments, while also adding synths, drums, and vocals to give it the extra oof and just funness so you won't be bored half of the song. Before we move on to the next world, this is the part of the game where the difficulty rises. And let me tell you, this bomb section right here is the bane of my existence. When I was little, I almost quit the game. I was playing with my big brother, and we completely died like 5 times fully on this one damn section. This section is literally the bane of my existence. This section can suck my testes. This section can get a fistful of this. You know what I mean? The fistful of you know what I mean. I hate this section with every fiber of my body. On to the next word. The next level is the Metropolis. Based off of the city of New York, it definitely nails down the aesthetic of New York, of how disgusting everything looks in this level. The only thing this world is missing is a bacon, egg, and cheese the Aki way. All jokes aside, the music is a great representation of New York, even now, as it uses a hip-hop type beat mixed with jazz, with a smooth saxophone in the background that really gets you in the mood of a late night drive. I can definitely see myself sitting on the front porch of a rundown apartment because, well, it's New York, every apartment is run down, and listening to this, honestly, pretty fire and chill track. This track is really good. The instruments in it are, as I already said, saxophone, FX, bass drums, and you can hear someone in the background going like, what, like they Cardi or something. All in all, it's a really chill track that cannot be said for the other music in this world, the ulterior music. The other track in this world is Atlas by Battles. Hey man, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it's Russian. You know that I can't show it, obviously copyright. It's a licensed song. It goes like EDN man, something like that, man. I don't know. It's fire though, I'll tell you that. At the last section of this world, you get one of the most annoying boss fights with the most racist looking character I feel like I have ever seen in a video game. This looks like a disabled white guy trying to make a black person off of a sketch of their little children. Honestly, man, like what the hell is this? I get it. I know it's supposed to be a ninja like type person, man, but this is big lips and everything, man. I don't know.
It seems kind of racist to me. In New York and everything, bro. It just can't be real. It just can't. All right, man. On to the next world. The next world is the islands, that it's based off of Japanese Zen garden. See a lot of people in the Little Big Planet community talking about this song. It is a complete banger, start to finish. Like, in the middle of the song, it gets all fast paced, and like I just want to bop my head to this damn song, bro. It's so fire. The instruments include a flute, drums, and a faint melody in the background. And this great synthesizer you can hear going like dun 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 dun. Absolutely fantabulous. It's really hard for me to pick what's my favorite song of this whole entire world, because the next song, ironically called Song 2, is absolutely fire and such a chilling and haunting sound. Like, honestly, the first time you hear it, it's in Sensei's Lost Castle. Perfect use of it and a perfect level for it because of how just haunting and scary that level can be. This whole world, music is so good, and I'm obviously not doing a good job convincing you to go listen to it. So just go listen to it. Honestly, it's just so fire and unique, and fits the theme of the levels, and it's just so welly. It's actually like crazy, and just the songs are so good. I don't know what to say. And on to the next world. The second to last world is the Magician's Palace. The interactive music for this world is the temples. And I'm being honest, it's not a sleeper because it's kind of mid. The interactive music for this whole world is just mid. I mean, it's not that it's not a bop. It's more of a, if it's a theme for the whole world, but I want to listen to it outside of the game. You know what I mean? But besides the interactive music for the level, the instruments are drums, electric snare, guitar, tambourines, and those little clapper things, you know, that you like do in music class in kindergarten, like the clapper things. I don't know what they're called, but they use it in the song. You hear in the background, you hear the clap. You know what I mean, right? Like the thing you use in kindergarten, the clappers. The licensed music for this world is called Dancing Drums. It is super duper different than the interactable music for the world. Dancing Drums is super fast paced. It really gets it's really catchy. It gets in your head fast. It goes like dun 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 down. It's actually really good and underrated. I don't see a lot of people talking about it as much as a lot of the music in this game. Very underrated track. Please give it a listen if you can. Before we move on to the next world, let me say at the beginning of this level I was trying to speed run it, right? So just don't count those deaths that I took just running into the fire, all right? Or any of the deaths in this level, period. I was trolling. I'm a professional troller, professional gimmicker. You know, I'm a professional joker, right? So everything there, just erase it out of your memory, man. Enjoy the music.
Before we move on to the last world, if you had a keen eye, you would notice in the first world, the gardens, that we left in a submarine. Now, why would we leave in a submarine to the savannah? Well, that's because there was a cut world between the gardens and the savannah. This world was named the Seaside, and there are 2 other cut worlds from this game. And they repurposed the music from those cut worlds in the Music Pack, with those songs being Tea by the Sea, Old Western Train, Old Wise Owl. I find it very cool that instead of letting this good music rot in the code of the game, they released it in a pack for the game that you have to buy. Luckily, in Little Big Planet 3, Tea by the Sea level kit is a thing, and you can experience what Tea by the Sea was supposed to be in Little Big Planet 1, but in Little Big Planet 3. Honestly, the music is really, really good for the unreleased worlds. If I were to rank them, it would probably be Old Western Train at number 3, Old Wise Owl at number 2, and Tea by the Sea at number 1. Now I'm going to let Tea by the Sea play for you. The last world is the wilderness, and man, what a terrific world to end this game off with. The music in this world is, for me personally, both S tier. The beginning synths in the wilderness interactive music is just so perfect, and how it leads it into the electric guitar is just so wonderful. I love this track so much. The instruments include, as stated before, synths, bass, guitar, drums, and a whole orchestra. You can hear a lady faintly singing in the background of the song. And all those instruments combined fits the theme of the world so perfectly. The theme of this world is Russia, mainly the snowy parts of Russia. Also, the wilderness is home to one of the hardest obstacles in Little Big Planet, right next to the Boomtown bomb extraction, blow up the wall, jetpack, catastrophe that happened. The bunker is home to the wheel that has ended a lot of little kids' playthroughs of this game. Right there, snap, they're gone, they quit. This is such a hard part of the game. Right here. Hardest part, debatably though. Debatably. If you get used to doing this whole majiggerroll, then you'll be fine. That's the bad part about it. People say it's hard, you get used to it, then you go steamroll it. Steamroll it. Before we move on to the last level of the game, the boss fight, also named the Collector, I would like to talk about, while the gameplay is during the boss fight, the copyright music for this world. That is so fire! This song is called The Battle on Ice, and let me tell you, what a great song to end the game on. It is so triumphant and just so out there. From a 1988 historical film, Alexander Hemstein. It's such a weird contrast to your little sack person and a historical event type song, but it fits weirdly. Now I'm gonna let the music play. That's why I feel like Little Big Planet's music is so underrated. It has so many great tracks in the game. The game is just great overall. Here's a tier list of what I think about the tracks in the tier list format. It's quite sad that we may never get another Little Big Planet game, even though Little Big Planet has done so much for gaming as a whole. As it popularized user-generated content and really elevated online experiences for all video games, that's really the end of the video. I'll see y'all next time.